Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Bilger. I'm the VP of Development for the Swedenborg Foundation. Whether it's an evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are, welcome to our event this evening. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to our second annual donor recognition event. Due to the continuous issues associated with the pandemic, we've had to decide upon hosting this event as a virtual event again this year. A number of you might not be in a position to travel here anyway, where we are located, so welcome all tonight. And a big welcome to many members of our board of directors who are also here tonight. You're joining us from the Off the Left Eye studios. This is where much of the magic, if we might say, or the programming is created. So why don't we take a look around? During the course of the show, the program, we'll be recognizing the newest inductees to our 1749 Legacy Plan Giving Society. You'll also be treated to a very special music and guest appearances from within the world of the Swedenborg Foundation. This event is about celebrating you, though, our donors, for your financial support this past year. We realize that everyone has multiple priorities and interests, and we greatly appreciate that you've chosen to support the foundation and share your time with us today. What is important for us to share today is our sense of gratitude, though, for you for supporting our incredibly important work. During the course of the program, you'll have the opportunity to pose questions to our panel of presenters today, and you can do so by clicking the icon, which is called the chat icon, labeled in the bottom or right side of your screen. There you can pose a question you might want to ask one of the presenters, and include who you may want to direct that to. Later in our program, we'll take those questions and provide time for a Q&A session. But right now, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce the president of our board of directors, Dr. Soni Sonesson-Werner, and she would like to share a very special message with all of you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Soni Werner, and I'm the president of the board for the Swedenborg Foundation. It is my privilege to welcome you all tonight to this special event in which we are honoring many of our donors. But first, we're going to be telling you about some of our wonderful activities. As you know, we translate the writings of Swedenborg in Latin to English. We try to use the most modern language words that we can. We're also developing some scholarly books, and we hope to have a couple of them published next year. We also do videos that are called Off the Left Eye, and we've added our podcasts where we talk about what was Swedenborg doing in history many years ago. Tonight, you're also going to get a chance to see how we are going to bring in our newest members of the 1749 Legacy Society. These are donors who have made plans in their gifting when they pass away. They've included the Swedenborg Foundation in their estate planning, so they will become members of our Legacy Society. So welcome, everybody, and let's have a wonderful evening together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soni, for those words. I just wanted to add to the reminder I gave you a minute ago about the chat feature. You can actually direct your questions to Jonathan, Rose, or Curtis, who are presenting live here tonight. I would now like to introduce a very special part of our program this evening, and by introducing our very own Chelsea Odner, as a member of our Off the Left Eye team, Reed McCardle, and Ethan Dom, and they're going to be sharing some very special music with you.
Welcome, everybody, and I'm really happy to be here with Reed McCardle to my right, who's known for, he's created a lot of the music that you hear on Off the Left Eye videos, and Ethan Dom, if his name sounds familiar, you might recognize it from his mother, Cara Dom, who appears on many or nearly all of our live shows. And so as Soni mentioned, we have this new podcast, and over the last year and a half of its life, it has become this great stream of original content that we've started creating that plugs in meaningfully into our overall ecosystem of the things that we offer. And it also is the hub of where you can find Dr. Jonathan Rose regularly. And it's this outlet for fresh insights from the New Century Edition translation of Swedenborg's works, as well as a deep dive into the history and context of Swedenborg's life and his works. And what we find is that when we travel into the past, it's really relevant to our lives today. So it's called Inside Off the Left Eye, and we're always paying attention to what our listeners are telling us they want. And we did a listener survey this last I guess it was at the beginning of the new year. And in that, multiple people said, we would love to have music involved in this podcast. And in a response to that, we created a segment that I called Sharing a Swedenborg Inspired Song. And so every week, the show would end with a song, and I would give a little context for where it was from. And we even had brand new music that is being created as we are living now that we got to share on the podcast, which is really exciting. And you can go and listen to those anywhere you listen to podcasts. And so tonight, we thought to bring some of those songs to life, to perform them live. And one of our regular resources for our songs was the works of Heather Childs. And she is Curtis's aunt, and she was a prolific musician who wrote this just really inspiring music and often drawing on spiritual life themes. And especially her music brings Swedenborg's ideas to life in a really lived way that I find so inspiring. And she passed away in the year 2000. And so it is such a joy to get to sing her music and keep it blasting in the world where I know she's blasting it in the spiritual world. And so over the course of this evening, you're going to hear a number of tracks or us doing live versions of her songs. And some have been played on the podcast. Another one hasn't. So I'll introduce each of them as we go. And so this first song is called Lightning in the Mountain. And in Swedenborg's works, he's often talking about the new church, which can seem like a really abstract concept. And we can have a lot of different ideas about it. But it really is this dynamic force that wants to come into each of our lives and dawn in the world. And I feel like this song kind of really brings that across. So enjoy. So what are we doing? Oh, let me get my...
Oh, yeah, I couldn't make a sound on it.
Okay. There's lightning in the mountain, there is thunder in the hills. There's a song that's pouring down my soul, and it will not be still. I have taken all the time I could to find my way to here. I have lingered in the valleys much too long. I have looked into the east, but still the sun would not appear. But it looks like there's a flash of going on. Oh, there is lightning in the mountain, there is thunder in the hills. There's a song that's pouring down my soul, and it will not be still. I have wandered all around this world, and everywhere I've been, the beauty and the sorrow I have seen. I have seen so many hungry eyes and held their silent pain. But it looks like there's a cry that's going to rain. Oh, there is lightning in the mountain, there is thunder in the hills. There's a song that's pouring down my soul, and it will not be still. And now it can be heard. Oh, and now it can be seen. The beauty of the words and the magic of the dream. Oh, there is lightning in the mountain, there is thunder in the hills. There's a song that's pouring down my soul, and it will not be still.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan Rose, series editor of the New Century Edition. Such a pleasure to share a thought with you. This is a mental image that came to me recently. From an audiobook I listened to recently, I came away with a haunting mental image of something that really occurred in history. Giant antennas erected 120 years ago on otherwise barren stretches of the coast of England. I picture local farmers shaking their heads. What on earth is the purpose of those giant spikes? In 1901, only a few top scientists believed that wireless communication was even theoretically possible. And those few were convinced that the maximum distance you could send a wireless signal was half a mile along a direct line of sight. None of them thought it was commercially or militarily viable at all. But Marconi, with the use of these antennas, hundreds of feet tall on the coast of England, sent a message 2,200 miles off into the dark around the curvature of the earth to a receiver he had set up in Newfoundland on the coast of North America. He was able to do this because of two things: his own faith and conviction that wireless communication was possible and would benefit the world, something he pursued with indefatigable energy, and two, the support of angel investors who believed in what he was doing. Interestingly, he had no idea how it actually worked. He just fervently believed that it could, and through trial and error, he found a way. Fast forward to 1914. By then, some ships carried his receivers, and when the Titanic tragically sank, his wireless signals alerted rescue ships in the area and saved lives. And now the whole world began to see what those strange flagpoles were really all about. Our ability to meet virtually right now is a direct result. I think the image haunts me because the New Century Edition translations are, in a sense, like those mysterious antennas. The thought and passion that goes into carefully building these translations is not only for people we know and people alive now, the state of the art today, the half mile in a direct line of sight, but for the possibility Swedenborg talks about of a future world that has an enormous appetite for spiritual things and uses them to make this world more heavenly, more able to dial in subtle messages from heaven about good things to pursue and spiritual dangers to avoid, the equivalent of receivers all over the world. We actively envision such an ongoing awakening in our world. It's already happening, thanks to coordinated efforts across the Swedenborg Foundation. And we're both praying and striving for much more of the same. And you, friends, are our angel investors, people who believe in what we're doing and are making it all possible. We're more than grateful to you for standing with us now in early days of this visionary, important, potentially world-changing experiment.
This next song is called I Believe, also by Heather Childs.
And I believe that a miracle Well, that was awesome. Band is rocking it. And I can say this because I didn't have anything to do. I can't really take any credit for putting this event on. This event has been great. The way that the stream in the studio looks crisp, the music was rocking. Jonathan, every time he talks, you're glad that he started talking. So kudos to everyone who's putting it on, and thanks to everybody for coming. So those songs that you heard, as Chelsea mentioned, were written by my aunt Heather, and she used to be in a band with a couple other of my aunts, and they were called the Child's Sisters. And I have really good associations with that music from being a little kid, because I'd listen to it. It was on around in the background. But also, just last year, I was really struggling with some stuff. I had some health issues, and this was like triggering all kinds of anxiety issues for me. And I was just in a really bad spot where I was really in a lot of fear a lot of the time. And one thing that I did was I just had their music, the Child's Sisters music, on repeat in my car, in my headphones, because it's like wherever I went, I needed this comfort and this energy that was all directed towards, thinking about the Lord and how he's taking care of us and how we're going to be okay. So to me, I really treasure the spirit that Heather and the other people put into it. And it's cool to me to see the spirituality, and a lot of it Swedenborg inspired was her thing. I mean, she continued to make gorgeous music about what you're just hearing there, the power of love, about the power of God, up until literally she was recording songs in her bed as she was, dying of cancer. So that was her thing. And then just recently I have inherited a set of Swedenborg's writings that belong to my grandparents. And I've been going through and seeing my grandfather, all the annotations he did, everywhere that he highlighted, all the places where he wrote like, oh, this is important, and wrote out examples and things. So I'm not only getting to read the books, but I'm getting to see what he thought about them and how he cared about them. And I got to see that this was his thing. So it's been something that people in my family have had, like this is what they're trying to do with their life, is bring the hope and comfort that they received to the next people, and to dig in and understand it better and make it something. So I love it, because that's the thing that I think is the most important as well. I love it when I come across other people who that's what's important. Like, how can we make life better through the beautiful stuff that's been revealed particularly in Swedenborg's material. And so what's been the most awesome thing ever has been, over the past 10 years, seeing just how so many other people from all around the world in all walks of life embracing Swedenborg's writings and it becoming sort of the thing of their life. And some of the people that are in the audience of the Swedenborg Foundation have been in touch with Swedenborg for a long time. Some of you found Swedenborg recently, but I just can tell in interacting with all of you over these years that it's become your thing. And the best way to tell that it's become central to somebody's life is if they're willing to give very literally, their life, their money to support it and to make it grow. So this is why it's so meaningful to me to be sitting here in this Zoom chat with all of you who I'm so grateful are feeling like this is something that I want to give my money that I could have spent on anything to. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you for that. And it means a lot to me. It is comforting as well. I wouldn't be as strong in my belief if it wasn't for seeing so many of you get excited about it too, because it's a way for me to say, yeah, I knew it was cool. So thanks everybody. And let's get to another song.
All right, this next song is also by Heather Childs, but it is not one that we've shared on the podcast. And hopefully Heather Childs' music will become more widely available in the future. But it's not currently. It's kind of hard to find. But this song is called, it's one of those harder to find songs, but it's called One Heart. So hope you enjoy it.
Oh Lord, we are gathered. Are you here among us? Your shining eyes are the light by which we see. Your loving hands hold the touch that sets us free. Help us leave our worries somewhere apart, and for a while melt into one heart. One heart, one heart, one heart. Your love comes and pours in as sweet as a spring rain. Let a storm come and pound upon my heart, and lightning strike a fire in my dark. Help us leave our worries somewhere apart, and for a while melt into one heart. One heart, one heart, one heart. Oh Lord, we are gathered. Are you here among us? Your shining eyes are the light by which we see. Your loving hands hold the touch that sets us free. Help us leave our worries somewhere apart, and for a while melt into one heart. One heart, one heart, one heart, one heart, one heart, one heart.
So this last song we have is not by Heather Childs, but is by Ethan Dom. And for anyone who attended or got access to the recording of the Off the Left Eye experience and has had a chance to watch it, you'll remember Dr. Jonathan Rose gave a phenomenal talk delving into the patterns and meaning within the 7 days of creation. and I think it was called How We Are Recreated. So we thought we'd do a callback to that talk with this, our last song by Ethan Dom, which is called We Can, and it is the 7 days of creation in musical form. This song masterfully weaves the 7 days of creation with their spiritual meaning, according to Swedenborg, and it actually takes you through a journey of the 7 days of creation, traversing the evening and the morning of each day. And so by the end of it, you've arrived. And the refrain of the chorus is about seeing the light in everyone, which to me is a reflection of our potential for regeneration and really believing for ourselves and for others that we can make that journey. You know, it's a journey we're on and we are being recreated. So this is We Can. Under heavy clouds, a seeming endless gray, we can open up and let the darkness turn into day. And as the light rushes free, so our minds become aware of what we need. We can work. We can raise our thoughts above the earth. We can circle the sun, see the light in everyone, see the light in everyone. Our cluttered minds, are they truth or lies? We can separate the waters from the sky. And when we reach the shore, this hallowed ground, then we can till the soil and plant the tree. And as the seed turns to fruit, so can we grow and take root in what we do. We can work. We can raise our thoughts above the earth. We can circle the sun, see the light in everyone, see the light in everyone. The sun, the moon, and stars, the celestial lights, please give us faith even through the night, as the birds will fill the sky, so our thoughts will come alive, as the beasts lay with the lamb, tempers tamed with innocence, we lay still. And in the beauty all is done, and we become as a reflection of the sun. We can work. We can raise our thoughts above the earth. We can circle the sun, see the light in everyone, see the light in everyone, see the light in everyone.
Wow. Wow. What a performance. What a performance. Thank you. Thank you. It's our very own Chelsea Odner, Reed McCardle, and Ethan Dom. And that last song in particular, Ethan wrote. That's impressive. Thank you. What a nice part of our program tonight. I want to tell the group, anyone attending, that you still have a few more minutes. Please, if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will see to get them answered to you momentarily. Right now, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Kay Lermit. Kay Lermit is a board member. She's a chair of our development committee here at the foundation, very active member of the foundation. And she has a few words she'd like to share with you about presentation of awards as part of our 1749 Legacy Society.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. Wow, what a marvelous evening. The music has been outstanding and just touching my heart deeply. Tonight, I wanted to invite you to recognize with me our newest members of the 1749 Legacy Society. This society is made up of people who have generously included the foundation in their wills. We have chosen this event to honor those who had the foresight and generosity to provide for the Swedenborg Foundation with a planned gift. Some members have chosen to remain anonymous, and we greatly respect that position. Planned giving helps us ensure future financial stability of the endowment and also allows us to plan our growth and outreach well into the future. The Swedenborg Foundation follows a common financial model of funding some of our operational costs through the earnings of our endowment funds. The endowment funds that we have been blessed with, and at least in large part, was made possible through individuals who saw fit to include the foundation in their own personal financial plans. Often such support is provided through planned gifts that can either come during one's lifetime or through their estate plans. Without that type of generosity, it's unlikely that the incredible work of the Swedenborg Foundation would have been made possible. So tonight, we'd like to recognize and induct our newest members of the 1749 Legacy Society. And they are Barbara Boxwell and Dr. Donald Tebow. Thank you so much for your gifts.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. The 1749 Legacy Society is a very important part of our organization and a group of donors that have chosen to really recognize and support us. Right now, it comes a time for us we do have a question that's been posed, and though we may get some more after the fact, we're gonna offer this question that did come up. This question is directed to Dr. Jonathan Rose himself, and it is from a regular reader of Swedenborg at the Cairnwood Village community here in Bryn Athyn. From a regular reader of Swedenborg here at Cairnwood Village, desperate for the rest of the secrets of heaven, can you tell me when we might expect to see volume 3 or 4? And that is to Jonathan.
This is a great question. Thank you. We are actively working on those volumes, and the second to last process that happens with them is that they come onto my desk and I do the series editor read of them, and then they go into production. And finally, they go off to the printer, which is sort of out of our hands when they're actually getting printed. And so Secrets of Heaven Volume 3 is already completed. Now, there's a little bit of a problem. As you know, many things in our world have gone a little bit crazy lately, and printing is one of them. What used to take 4 weeks to print is now taking 12 or more. We were hoping to get this book out by this Christmas, but it looks like it'll be early in 2022. But I'm already finalizing right now the work on Secrets of Heaven Volume 4, and that won't be far behind. That too will come out next year. In fact, by Christmas of 2022, my work is supposed to be done on Secrets of Heaven Volume 7, and all 15 are supposed to be done by March of 2026, in the next 4.5 years. So I love this question. I'm glad I've got what I hope is a good answer for you, that we are, that's the main thing that I spend the lion's share of my time on, is getting those Secrets of Heaven volumes out. I'm about to start volume 5. So those should be appearing soon, as soon as we can get them into print. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the answer for that question, and Jonathan, your answer. And I can attest to how busy Jonathan is in his work, because I can't get a hold of him sometimes for weeks at a time if I have a question. So just kidding. He does respond, but he is busy and very diligent at the work he's doing. So I want to, again, thank everyone who both attended the event. I want to thank our crew and our team here, everyone who participated in the event tonight. It means a whole lot to us that you've chosen to spend your evening with us, and we have a lot of gratitude. As donors and volunteers, many of you have been part of the fabric of this organization and mission. Your gifts have allowed us to do and guide and direct us in terms of the work that we do in support of our mission. And we're in debt to you, and we promise to be very good stewards of the gifts that you entrusted to us. So on behalf of the Swedenborg Foundation, the board of directors, our staff here at the organization, I want to thank you all and look forward to next year's event. Have a great evening.